Hi, this is Usha. Welcome to Rathod's IAS classes. Today in this lecture, we are going to see the current affairs of 7th September 2021. In this lecture, we are going to see 8 articles which are very much relevant to UPSC. So let's get started with our discussion. And first, let us see the list of topics we are going to discuss in this lecture. So first topic we are going to discuss, it is about Taliban claim control over Panjshir. So till these many days, Panjshir gave a tough resistance to this Taliban, and finally now Taliban also occupied this Panjshir. So Taliban's claim the total control of Panjshir here. So this article will be important from international relations, which comes under our GS paper 2. And next topic is about tribunal vacancies. Here Supreme Court said that whatever the vacancies which are present in tribunals, they need to be filled. So this is the thing which mainly said by Supreme Court. So in this context, you need to know some facts regarding tribunals. So there is one chapter in your Lakshmi Kant polity regarding these tribunals. I already covered that topic efficiently in our Lakshmi Kant polity series. You can watch that basics regarding this tribunal, okay, from that playlist. So this topic will be important from polity, which comes under GS paper 2. And next topic is about dengue fever. So due to this dengue fever, many people they died in Firozabad. Okay, so regarding this, you need to know some facts regarding this dengue, because in science and technology we are having one topic like diseases. So this disease includes communicable and non-communicable diseases, right? So here in this diseases part, so this dengue is important, and you can also get some prelims based questions from this dengue for sure. So this will be important from health and even science and technology point of view. And next topic, it is about Manda buffalo. So this Manda buffalo got one indigenous tag. So because of this is the news, and this will be important from our environment and ecology. And next topic, it is about food emergency in Sri Lanka. So recently, due to COVID-19 pandemic and also forex reserves in Sri Lanka has been decreasing. So due to this, there is an increasing of food prices. So if you see the price of potato, which mainly reached rupees 150, and sugar price reached rupees 200 per kg. And if you see the onion prices, which had been crossed rupees 100 per kg. So due to this, what happened, middle class people, they cannot afford for their food. So this is the thing which mainly seen in Sri Lanka. So that will be important from our international relations point of view. And next topic, it is about Taliban and India. So what are the steps that can be taken by India regarding this Taliban, which mainly discussed in this topic. So again, that will be important from international relations, which comes under GS paper 2. And next one, it is about federalism. So what happened recently, center which is mainly passing laws in concurrent list, which comes under 7th schedule of Indian Constitution. So because of this, states are mainly showing some concerns regarding this unilateral step which is taken by center. So that is a thing which mainly discussed in this article. So that will be important from our polity point of view, which comes under GS paper 2. And next topic about Afghanistan and BRI. So why this Afghanistan, it is important for China regarding this Belt and Road Initiative, that is mainly discussed in this topic. So that will be important from international relations, which comes under GS paper 2. So these are some important topics which appeared in today's Hindu newspaper we are going to discuss in this lecture. So let's get started with our discussion, and let us see the first topic. Title says Taliban claim total control as Panjshir resistance fold. So this article mainly says that Taliban control. So Taliban now it is going to control even this Panjshir valley. So till now Panjshir mainly provided a tough resistance to these Talibans, and now this Panjshir also fall into the hands of this Talibans. So this article will be important regarding international relations. So one thing I want to say is, already I came up with one video regarding map of Afghanistan. So please try to see that map. Then that is giving much information regarding this Afghanistan, and you can get 10 to 12 points from that map. Okay, that will be important from your both prelims and also mains. So now let's try to see this article. So first let us see the context. So if you see context, it mainly says that Taliban claimed total control over Afghanistan now. Taliban mainly said that it won battle for this Panjshir Valley. So the last remaining whole lot of resistance against their rule. So now this Panjshir Valley also comes into hands of Taliban. So now here entire Afghanistan, which mainly claimed under control of Taliban. So this is context. If you see some important details, it mainly says that following their lightning fast victory in mid-August over the former Afghan government security forces and withdrawal of US troops after 20 years of war. So what happened? So after attack of Twin Towers in US entered into this Afghanistan, right? So what happened? So if you see this year 2021 September 11 mainly marks 20 years, okay, 20 years of that incident. So now recently US troops had been withdrawn from Afghanistan. So after withdrawing of this US troops and NATO from Afghanistan, so now Afghanistan government had been fled away, right? So president of Afghanistan, okay, he mainly fled away, and even now what happened, entire country come into the hands of Taliban. So Taliban mainly turned into fighting forces which are mainly defending this mountainous Panjshir Valley. So what happened, Panjshir Valley, which is mainly providing some tough resistance to these Taliban, but now this Panjshir Valley had also came into hands of these Taliban. Taliban published a video of their flag being raised over Governor House in Panjshir, and it mainly underscores the historic win that has seen anti-Taliban bastion defeated for first time in 40 years of conflict. So from last 40 years, okay, many countries they try to occupy this Panjshir, but they provided tough resistance. But now after this 40 years of conflict, now this Panjshir Valley come under hands of these Taliban. So if you see some important details which are given in this article, it mainly says that the National Resistance Front, okay, NRF, the National Resistance Front in Panjshir, which mainly made up of anti-Taliban militia and former Afghan security forces. So here this Panjshir Valley mainly contains people of National Resistance Front, and they are mainly made up of anti-Taliban militia and even former Afghan security forces. So NRF mainly include local fighters who are loyal to Ahmad Massoud and also sons of the famous anti-Soviet and anti-Taliban people. Okay, so these are some important things that you need to remember regarding this Panjshir. So now let us try to see the location. Where is this Panjshir exactly located? So it is a map of Afghanistan, right? So this is a map of Afghanistan. So it is also sharing boundary with here China. So this is the thing that you need to remember. And many students might be confusing whether this Afghanistan sharing boundary with China or not. Yes, of course, China is also sharing boundary with this Afghanistan. So here we have Kabul. So just 150 kilometers from Kabul, we have this Panjshir province here. So this is this Panjshir province. And now let us try to see some important details regarding this Panjshir. So if we are talking about this Panjshir, which is just located 150 kilometers north to this Kabul, and this valley mainly located near Hindu Kush mountain range, and this is a very much important strategically because so it is mainly located in valleys, and inside this Panjshir province there will be about 21 valleys are present inside this Panjshir. So because of this location will be very much helpful to conduct guerrilla warfare. Okay, so here this is mainly divided by Panjshir river, which mainly ringed by Panjshir mountains in north and Khuzestan mountains in south, and mountain mainly tops are covered by snow throughout the year. So these mountains are covered by snow throughout the year. So because of this difficult terrain, which makes this valley a nightmare for invaders. So people who know perfectly regarding this geography, then only they can go and they can come out of this Panjshir valley, right? So this is the gist of this topic, and I hope it is clear. Now let us try to see next topic. Title says fill tribunal vacancies by September 13. Supreme Court tells center. So Supreme Court tells the center that center need to fill tribunal vacancies by the timeline September 13. So this article will be important regarding polity point of view, which mainly comes under GS paper 2. So now let us try to see this topic in a very great detail. So actually I already recorded one video regarding these tribunals in our Lakshmikant Polity lecture series. So please watch that playlist, and in that you can find this tribunal lecture. So now let us try to see this topic in a very great detail. So if you see context, it mainly says that a special bench of Supreme Court, which mainly led by Chief Justice of India. So CJI, Chief Justice of India, mainly led a special bench of Supreme Court. Okay, so in this bench they mainly said that so court was not interested in confrontation with the government. So court, it is not interested mainly in confrontation with engagement with the government, but in this condition court said that they lost patience. So in the patience, in this context, center need to confirm and center need to fill the long pending vacancies in the key tribunals by next hearing. So here Supreme Court mainly said that they are not interested to have a conflict with the government, but here whatever the long-term pendencies are seeing or long-term vacancies are seeing here, so they need to be filled up by next hearing on September 13. So this is about why it is in news. And if you are talking about the details, it mainly says that the tribunals across the country, they were on the verge of collapse due to this increasing of pendency or vacancies. So here in this context, your center need to take the decision mainly to come up with filling of these vacancies. So this is the thing which mainly said in this article. So now let us try to focus on some important facts regarding these tribunals. So these tribunals, they are not originally present in our Constitution of India. So this is one important prelims fact. They are not present in our original Constitution of India, but they were introduced in year 1985. And these tribunals, they were constituted with objective of delivering speedy, inexpensive, decentralized adjudication of disputes in various matters. So here tribunals are constituted with objective of mainly delivering speedy, inexpensive, decentralized adjudication of disputes with various matters. Okay, so first important point you need to know here is, so these tribunals, they are not present in our original Constitution, but they are added in year 1985, and these tribunals, they were constituted with objective here mainly for the speedy delivery of justice and inexpensive, and even it is mainly focusing on decentralized adjudication of dispute of various matters. And some tribunals, they are specialized. Okay, some tribunals are specialized government agencies, for example boards, and they will also have even decision making powers conferred upon by the law. So these are some important facts. So first of all, you need to remember tribunals are not originally present in our Constitution. They are added in year 1985. And let me know through which Constitutional Amendment Act which mainly added these tribunals. And this one is tribunals, they were constituted with objective of delivering speedy, inexpensive and as well as decentralized adjudication of disputes in various matters. And next one is some tribunals, they are mainly some specialized government agencies, for example boards, and these boards, they will also take part in decision making. And if you are talking about provisions of our tribunals, they are not present in the Constitution, and 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act which introduced these provisions in according to the recommendations of Swaran Singh Committee. So please let me know whether this 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act is correct or not. So this is your responsibility. Okay. So here this provisions mainly, which are mainly recommendations given by this Swaran Singh Committee, and also this amendment introduced Part 14A to our Constitution. Part 14A to our Constitution. So if you are talking about this administrative tribunals, so what will be the advantages? So if you are talking about tribunals which mainly talked in two articles, Article T123A and Article 323B. Article 323A mainly talks about administrative tribunals and Article 323B for other matters. So, if we are talking about advantages of these administrative tribunals, so tribunals mainly offer flexibility when compared to that of ordinary courts. They have to adhere to strict procedures. So, here tribunals mainly offer flexibility when compared to that of ordinary courts. And here what happens, the justice which will be given through these tribunals, it will be a speedy justice and is also inexpensive and cheaper. So, procedure mainly followed by tribunals, which is very much simple, and also it will be easy to understand even for a layman. And here these tribunals will also offer relief to ordinary courts that will help to decrease in burdening on these courts. So these will be advantages of this administrative tribunals advantages. So if we are talking about next topic, it is talking about dengue caused deaths in Firozabad. So it is talking about dengue. So now let us try to see this topic in a very great detail, and this topic will be very important from your prelims point of view. So in a letter to UP Chief Secretary, Union Health Secretary mainly said that they need to look into cause for fever outbreaks and as well as deaths among children in Firozabad district. So after this, what happened, Chief Secretary mainly found that these deaths and these fever, they are mainly caused due to dengue, and also there are some cases, few cases they are recorded due to scrub typhus and as well as leptospirosis. So due to dengue and as well as scrub typhus and leptospirosis, so these are some leading causes for increasing of fever and as well as deaths. So now let us try to see some important steps which are mainly taken by government. So there is a need of adequate surveillance and control measures here. So actually this dengue which mainly transmitted through this Aedes aegypti mosquito, which will bite in daytime, not in night time. So what happened, so here this in this dengue, and when we want to control this, so we need to have adequate vector surveillance and even control measures. And fever patients, they need to be screened for dengue, malaria, scrub typhus and as well as leptospirosis. And we need to strengthen even ELISA based testing facilities also. So this will be the one of the efficient laboratory test. And if you are talking about some facts regarding this dengue, so this dengue, it is a mosquito borne tropical disease, and here this dengue mainly caused by virus, so belongs to the genus Flavivirus, and mainly transmitted by several species of mosquito and mainly transmitted by Aedes aegypti. And the mosquito this mosquito also transmits even chikungunya, yellow fever and as well as Zika infection. So there are 4 distinct but very close related symptoms include serotypes, mainly include separate groups within the species of microorganisms. They will share the similar characteristics of virus and they cause dengue, that is DEN1, DEN2, DEN3, DEN4. So these are some important 4 distinct and closely related serotypes which mainly causes dengue. So if you are talking about signs and symptoms, so whenever we are getting dengue, so we will feel sudden high fever, severe headache, pain behind these orbits, that will be the behind these eyes, is called as orbits, and even severe bones, joints and as well as muscle pain. So if you are talking about diagnosis and treatment, so diagnosis of this dengue infection is done with a blood test. There is no specific medicine to treat dengue infection, but based on the symptoms, we will go for symptomatic treatment. That means if we have vomitings, means we will be giving you antiemetics, and if you are having blood in stools, we are going to give you anti-blood, as we need to give some drugs which mainly stop the internal bleeding, right? So these are some important treatment regarding this dengue. And regarding this dengue, one important thing we mainly found is decreasing of platelets. Mainly to increase platelet count, we are also going to give you carica papaya supplements also. And if you are talking about vaccine for this dengue, so the dengue vaccine, that is CYDTDV or Dengue Vaccine. So this Dengue Vaccine was approved by US FDA, US Food and Drug Administration in year 2019. So this is the first dengue vaccine to get regulated not in the US. And next one is this dengue vaccine, which is a basically live attenuated dengue virus which has to be administered in the people of ages 9 to 6 years who have laboratory confirmed previous dengue infection and who live in mainly endemic areas. So what is dengue vaccine? So like COVID vaccine, we are also having this dengue vaccine, and this vaccine name is dengue vaccine, which got approval from US FDA in year 2019 itself. And this vaccine, which mainly contains live attenuated virus, but their strength is very low, that mainly does not cause a severe disease here. And this vaccine will be given to the children who are between 9 to 16 years of age. Okay, so these are some important facts regarding this article. So now let us try to move on to next topic. Title says Manda buffalo gets unique breed tag. So if you see this picture, then you can see this is that Manda buffalo. So now let us try to see context. So National Bureau of Animal Genetic Resources, NBAGR in short. So NBAGR stands for National Bureau of Animal Genetic Resources, which mainly recognized the Manda buffalo found in Eastern Ghats and plateau of Koraput region of Odisha. So where is this Manda buffalo is seen? In Eastern Ghats and even plateau of Koraput. So which is one of 19th. So it is a 19th unique breed of buffalo which mainly found in India. So why? Because this Manda buffalo, they are very much resistant to parasitic infections. So because of this, they are very much less prone to diseases and can thrive on modest resources. And this buffalo's germplasm was first identified mainly through a survey which conducted by Animal Resource Development Department of Odisha in collaboration with university, that is Odisha University of Agriculture and Technology. And finally they came up with this assessment and they recognized it as an mainly indigenous and unique breed. So now let us move on to next topic. Title says what is food emergency in Sri Lanka. So this article mainly talking about food emergency. Till now we studied about national emergency, state emergency and as well as financial emergency. So which comes under our polity, right? So this article mainly talking about this food emergency. So in this food emergency, we mainly see there is increase in the prices of goods in Sri Lanka. So as I said in introduction, the price of potato reached rupees 150 per kg, price of sugar reached rupees 200 per kg, etc. So because of this, what happened? Normal people, they can't afford for these prices, and that is also leading to increase in deaths also in Sri Lanka. So now let us try to see context. So Sri Lanka declared the state of emergency over food shortages. So here what happened? Sri Lanka declared a state of emergency, food emergency, because of shortage of food, and even private banks in country, they are ran out mainly of foreign exchange, mainly to finance imports. Mainly what happened? There is food shortage that is seen in this Sri Lanka. If they want to go outside for imports, so for import also they ran out of this foreign exchange reserves. So if we're talking about details, it mainly says that Sri Lanka, it is mainly suffering from hard hitting economic crisis. So Sri Lanka, it is now facing economic crisis. So following this crisis, President ordered emergency regulations to counter hoarding of sugar, rice and even other such essential foods. So what happened whenever there is hoarding is happening? Hoarding is nothing but storing of food grains in their godowns and they are not releasing. So whenever there is increasing of a price of so and so good, then they will bring them out from their godowns. So this is called as hoardings. Mainly now we are facing food crisis in Sri Lanka, right? So because of this, to contain this situation, President Gotabaya Rajapaksa ordered emergency regulations mainly to counter hoarding of sugar, rice and even such other essential foods. And President also named a top army officer as Commissioner General of Essential Services and this will be very much helpful to coordinate the supply of paddy, rice, sugar and as well as other consumer goods. And what happened? So here in Sri Lanka we see there is a sharp rise of sugar, rice, onions, potatoes, etc. And price rise was supplemented by long queues. So outside of the stores we can also see there is a long queues because of shortage of milk, powder, cooking gas and as well as kerosene oil. So government is also increased penalties for food hoarding. So one important problem is if you want to ensure food security in Sri Lanka do not have a scheme like public distribution system. So this is also one cause of concern now. So now let us try to talk about economy of Sri Lanka. So if we are talking about economy of Sri Lanka, see economy of Sri Lanka mainly reduced by 3.6% in 2020 due to this COVID-19 pandemic. As we all know that this COVID-19 saw each and every country equally. It does not see rich countries alike and poor countries alike. So it even spread each and every country and it also affected each and every country's economy. So if you see on Sri Lanka side, economy of Sri Lanka reduced by 3.6% in 2020 due to this COVID-19 pandemic. And next one is in 2020, in March 2020, government also banned imports of vehicles and even other items like edible oils and turmeric in order to mainly save foreign exchange. And now because of this we saw there is a food shortage in Sri Lanka that led to increase in prices. If you are talking about forex reserves or foreign reserves of Sri Lanka, so foreign reserves of Sri Lanka decreased to $2.8 billion as of July, and 2021 from we can see there is decrease from $7.5 billion to $2.8 billion. So as per data from Bank, rupee also had been lost 20% of its value against US dollar. So this is also one cause of concern. And the next important thing here is COVID-19 cases in Sri Lanka. So here Sri Lanka was successful in handling the first wave of this COVID-19 pandemic, but Sri Lanka mainly failed to handle second and third waves of this pandemic. So because of this, that led to surge in COVID-19 cases and even deaths have been increased in 2020. So as of August 2021, Sri Lanka has become the country with fourth largest daily deaths. Okay, so in Sri Lanka, we are seeing fourth largest daily deaths across the world. So if you see other three countries include Georgia, Tunisia, Malaysia and fourth one is now Sri Lanka. So this is just of this topic and now let us move on to next topic. Title says from fighters to rulers. So this article mainly talking about Talibans. So this article will be important from international relations which comes under GS paper 2. So if you see central theme, it mainly says that India must use its voice on international stages to make Taliban respect freedom and as well as rights of people. So as you know, outside this Kabul airport, there was a bomb attack which mainly happened and that led to loss of many lives. So in this context, author mainly says that India must use its voice on international stages mainly to make Taliban respect freedom of people and as well as human rights. So if you're talking about this article, so recently what happened, there is postponement of announcement regarding government formation in Afghanistan by Taliban that happened. So it is twice actually. So some speculations mainly regarding this delay is about Talibans were waiting to take control of last hold out province of Panjshir. So first important speculation here is Taliban also want to take over the control of this Panjshir and later on it will come up with formation of government. And second speculation here is some people mainly says that here they are mainly seeing the timing with 20th anniversary of 9/11 attacks. So after this in September they are mainly going to come up with this, September 9/11 attacks, right? So because of this, these are two important speculations, but if you see here, but real reason behind this is there is some differences that is seen within various Taliban's factions over government structure and as well as composition. So regarding this structure and as well as composition, so real reason here is there is some differences within various Taliban factions happening. So differences mainly seen between Taliban leadership and as well as Taliban leadership in Helmand, Kandahar, and as well as political office in Doha. And next one is the original Afghan Taliban leadership and as well as the Pakistan based Haqqani network. They are also having some differences. So at the base of these differences, it is a tussle between Taliban's push to consolidate their takeover of Afghanistan and to implement Islamic agenda there, and their desire it is to receive recognition from international community, and it's continued. Okay, so what happened here? So here what happened, there is a difference that is between Taliban's groups that is seen, even Taliban's and as well as this Haqqani group. So Afghanistan want to implement Islamic agenda. Okay, so in Afghanistan Taliban's want to implement this Islamic agenda, and they are mainly they are in need of receiving recognition from international communities also. So this is about some important thing. And if you're talking about concerns for India, so any government that gives this Haqqani group a key positions in their government formation, then that will makes it very much difficult for India to have their role either in diplomacy or developmental projects in Afghanistan. So in Afghanistan, India invested a lot. So regarding that investment, developmental projects, so if Haqqani group it is also forming or sharing the government in Afghanistan, so it will be a one grave threat for India. And next one is any role of Pakistan as well as China is there, that will also raise red flags for this New Delhi also. So in this context, Ministry of External Affairs mainly says that it mainly conveyed concerns on the safety of Indians in Afghanistan, and even we need to focus on ensuring Afghan soil will not be used for future attacks in India. So in this context, what is the way forward? India must use its voice on the international stage forcefully. So India must use its choice on international stage forcefully. So here in this context, India can move towards UNG, United Nations General Assembly, and also India which is mainly sharing chairmanship of this United Nations Security Council. Here India need to recognize the new regime, and India need to stop the delisting or exemptions to this Taliban leaders at 1988 Sanctions Committee. So which India mainly chairs, and as well as until Taliban regime shows willfully to comply. So these are the some important steps that can be taken by India. So now let us try to see next topic. Title says spirit of federalism lies in consultation. So if you see central theme, it mainly says that unilateral legislation without taking the states into confidence, that will seek more protest on the streets. So this article mainly talking about there is some threat to federalism. So when your center which is mainly going for this unilateral legislation without taking consideration of states, so whatever the bills they are mainly passing, so those bills, there will be protest that is seen from people on the streets. So this is central theme. So if you're talking about context, it mainly says that recently various state governments, they raised concerns regarding central's unilateralism in enactment of certain critical laws. Okay, so these laws mainly on the subjects in concurrent list of the 7th schedule of our constitution. So recently various state governments, they raised concerns about central unilateralism in the enactment of critical laws on the subjects in concurrent list of the 7th schedule of the constitution. And in this context, Parliament passed farm laws without consulting the states. Parliament passed this farm laws without consulting of states. So this is the thing which mainly done recently, right? So laws mainly enacted which is relating to the entry 14 of state subject. But Parliament mainly cites that, so we came with amendment in entry 33 which mainly comes under concurrent list. So if you're talking about what is a federalism, federalism means I can say there is a proper division of powers. So where we can see this federalism, that is in the schedule 7 of Indian Constitution. So in schedule 7 we are having 3 lists: union list, state list, and as well as concurrent list. So whenever we want to come up with any changes regarding this concurrent list, so we need to take these states into consideration. So here the states have not been taken into consideration. So this is one cause of concern. So laws essentially which are relating to this entry 14, which mainly belongs to state laws, but here Parliament cites that, so it mainly comes under entry 33 of trade and commerce clause in this concurrent list. And if you are talking about one more important act which mainly passed here is Major Ports Authorities Act of 2021. So under this Major Ports Authorities Act of 2021, which mainly passed by Parliament. Okay, so even from this BJP, Bharatiya Janata Party ruled state government in Goa, so even it objected for this law. Okay, so here why Goa mainly objected, because it would lead to redundancy and as well as local laws including Goa Town and as well as Country Planning Act and Goa Municipalities and Goa Panchayat Raj Act, etc. So even according to this Indian Ports Bill, Ports Act of 1908, it mainly says that, so the field which is mainly related to this non-major ports, the power to regulate and even control of this minor ports which will comes under the state government, right? But here it will comes under central government. So planning and developing and regulating the non-major ports to Maritime State Development Council. So we also came up with this by this Major Ports Act, we came up with this Maritime Developmental Council, so which mainly looks after planning, developing and as well as regulating of this non-major ports. And one more thing here is Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, Kerala, they have been objected this bill to propose the seize of the power of state governments with respect to non-major ports. So if we are talking about cause of concern, so union government mainly extending hands on subjects in the concurrent list. Okay, so union government increasingly extending its hands on subjects in the concurrent list, and the model mainly envisaged as per Government of India Act of 1935. So here this model which mainly adopted by farmers of the constitution, and also there will get some certain subjects were put in concurrent list by giving this union and state legislature concurrent powers regarding them. So if you're talking about this concurrent powers, even our constitutional framers they kept these three lists. Okay, so in this concurrent list, both state and as well as union government they have powers, okay, regarding them. So this is the cause of concern. So if you're talking about even some recommendations of some committees like Sarkaria Commission report, which mainly recommended that, so coordination of policy and as well as action in all areas of concurrent and overlapping jurisdiction through a process of mutual consultation operation. Therefore, this is one of the prerequisite for smooth and harmonious working of the dual system. Mainly for the dual system that need to work properly means we need to go for coordination of policy and as well as actions in all the matters of this concurrent subjects. And next important report by National Commission to review the working of the constitution. So it is also famously called by this Venkatachalaya Commission. So here this commission mainly recommended that individual and collective consultation with the states that would be undertaken mainly through interstate council, which mainly established under Article 263 of Indian Constitution. So these are some important data. And if you see, finally author says that we need to ensure the essence of cooperative federalism. So this cooperative federalism which mainly lies in consultation and dialogue and even unilateral legislation without taking states into account means that will lead to protest in the streets. So this is just of this topic, and now let us try to move on to next topic. Okay, before saying this topic, I want to make a small announcement on this platform. If you want to clear UPSC 2022, we came up with one excellent, highly beneficial course, that is Current Affairs Package along with mains answer writing practice. So how this course will be useful? because in prelims you need to know at least, not only prelims, to clear this UPSC, you need to know at least 1.5 years current affairs for sure. And this is right time to join this course to cover this 1.5 years current affairs in a comprehensive manner. And if you are talking about this mains answer writing practice, many students, they will ignore this. So whenever you are starting your preparation, on that day itself you need to focus on this mains answer writing practice. And next important one is, if you join this course, we also conduct prelims test on every Sunday, and we provide you video explanation part. So in this way, this course, which is designed as per demand of UPSC. So finally, I want to say one thing: please don't take this course as a choice. Try to join this course as soon as possible and achieve your dream of clearing UPSC. So details of this course, which is given in description box, so please visit that once. And if you want to talk to me directly, you can call to this number 8074765513. Okay, now let's come back and let us see next and last topic of the day. Title says a Taliban-led Afghanistan and Chinese concurrendum. So this article mainly talking about, so after US moved from this Afghanistan, so a nation which is of vital for Belt and Road Initiative may prove which is very much costly for Beijing. Okay, so this is the thing which is mainly linking with this Afghanistan with this Beijing. So now let us try to see this topic. So recent estimates by Brown University US, okay, so recent estimate by Brown University US, which mainly suggest that since 2001, US has spent about $2.26 trillion. Okay, so since 2001 onwards, US mainly spent about $2.26 trillion, but of which $1.53 million were spent just on defense itself. And if you are talking about economy of Afghanistan, so Afghanistan economy which is not much flourished. So economy of Afghanistan which is not much flourished, with 90% of people who are still below this poverty line, and here they are mainly earning less than $2 a day. So the only thing that economy can still brag up its ability, that is to produce opium and as well as mercenaries. So here one of important occupation that is mainly seen in Afghanistan is opium trading. So because of this, we are having this golden prison which is very near to India, such that we can see drug trafficking that is happening in this area. So if you're talking about Afghanistan here, Afghanistan has a few other things that are very much valuable. We can also see there is some reserves like rare earth metals and even huge deposits of copper is present. And Chinese in particular, they will be happy about if they are having a technology made to excavate them. So whenever the information which is released regarding so and so lithium resources are present in this area, and as well as huge copper which is present in this area, or iron ore which is present in this area, so that will provide a great opportunity or advantage for this Chinese, because they will be having technology made to explore these resources. And China is mainly engaging with Taliban with an eye made to complete this BRI, Belt and Road Initiative investment. So why China is engaging with this Taliban? Mainly to complete the new Belt and Road Initiative investment. So if you're talking about how it is acting as a crucial link, so Afghanistan which plays an important role for this Belt and Road Initiative. So without counting on Afghanistan, so the bulk of Chinese investors, okay, so the bulk of Chinese investors in this China-Pakistan economic corridor, they will be at the amount of trade that should flow through the new Silk Road and should be massive and long term. So for example, if you take any country which is investing in so and so development project, so if it is mainly spending, let us take an example of X amount of money. So whatever the amount of money which is mainly investing by that country, so that need to bring some profits for that country, and that should be long term thing, right? So here if you are talking about this Chinese Belt and Road Initiative, why it is a success thing? So why? Because so the cost of production that is mainly done by China in the Southeast Asia, and as well as some areas which are very much near and which is mainly causing some outside of China. So that is one of important things. So investment, okay, the cost of production which has been lower compared to other countries. And even next one is investing in these regions that meets access to higher big markets of Chinese firms, and as well as it can emerge as a regional development, universal regional development. It will be very much helpful. And next one is the Chinese firms, they could evade protectionist measures, and now here Chinese firms are mainly targeted for their exports when they began exporting from Southeast Asian countries instead. And even next important point here is investing in Africa and as well as Asia. They have also reduced some of Chinese energy investments or Chinese energy requirements. So in this way, it is mainly enabling here Beijing, okay, China to access to deep foreign exchange energy and as well as minerals. So if you're talking about Chinese strategies, so Chinese firms, they also came up with construction of hydropower projects, right? Hydropower plants and also thermal projects in Myanmar, and also even China has also invested in power transmission, copper processing activities in Vietnam. And now next, Chinese want to mimic the same strategies in the case of this Afghanistan and Pakistan. So in the case of this Afghanistan and Pakistan, also Chinese want to come up with infrastructure projects. So China will be able to bring together. So whenever China which is able to bring together a large part of this Indonesian littoral and as well as Eurasia will comes under the hands of the China, because Chinese will go for building of several railway lines and as well as pipelines, maritime linkages, etc. So the idea of confronting to the rest of the world system from Chinese aspiration, mainly it is to get out of manufacturing with a global value chain, and as well as we need to start focusing on the product designs and as well as innovations. So here Chinese mainly thinking that yes, whenever we are going for developing of this BRI through these railway lanes, pipelines and some maritime linkages, that will be mainly helpful for China to emerge as a world's first or world's top global value chains and as well as manufacturing, etc. And next one is the development of this Belt and Road Initiative that would also even impact 4.4 billion people, and it will also help to generate about $2.5 trillion within a decade. So this is about just, so nothing but actually, so what this article mainly talked about, how this Afghanistan will form as a crucial link for BRI. So if there is no permission from Afghanistan, and if at all China which is coming up with development of this China-Pakistan economic corridor, sometimes we can also see attacks from Afghanistan. Mainly to prevent this, we need the consensus of this Afghanistan. And here this article mainly talked about 4 important strategies of China made to make this BRI to be a successful thing. And finally, we're talking about strategies. Once it started this BRI, it will also come up with some hydropower projects, even thermal power projects, etc. in those countries. So that will be mainly helpful, okay, for Chinese. So this thing which mainly followed in Vietnam and as well as Myanmar. So in the same way, it is also going to come up with this type of activities in Afghanistan and as well as Pakistan. So whenever it is developing this Afghanistan and as well as Pakistan, so these areas, they will be having a boundary, this area like Pakistan will be having boundary with this Arabian Sea, such that it will be also having easy access to this Indonesia and as well as Eurasia, mainly that is through high-speed railway lanes, pipelines, maritime linkages, etc. Okay, so this is the thing here. So whenever Chinese it is coming up with this BRI and it is continuing this with this BRI, so that will helpful for mainly China to diversify their global value chains here. So even this will be having impact on 4.4 billion people, and this will be helpful mainly to generate trade of worth $2.5 trillion. So now let us try to see one map. So here this area which is mainly sharing boundary with China. So this part, that is Afghanistan. So this is called as Wakhan corridor. So this mainly, if you see this border, which is mainly the one of oldest silk route of China, right? So because of this, not only this new BRI, even old silk route of China, which is mainly having some link with Afghanistan. So this is just of this topic. I hope it is clear. So by this we are concluding today. I hope you enjoyed this lecture. Please subscribe to my channel and don't forget to like, share and comment my videos. And don't forget to enroll to this current affairs package. Thank you so much.